This is Query Tracker. This site is everything you need to know about how to submit to publishers and literary agents. Now that you know how to find the literary agents, and now that you know how to look for the specific agent, how do you submit to them? So there are two ways to submit to the agent. Now you got to go to the agency to find out how they prefer, how the specific agent prefers to be submitted to. And you usually look for something called submission guidelines. So you hit that, and then this will tell you whether they're looking for emails or this thing called a query manager, which I'll show you in a second. So submissions, I'll hit submissions. All right, so how to submit. Prepare your digital submission. Select the bio. So you see what I'm saying, select one agent to query. All right, please note that the submission system we use for receiving queries is Query Manager. When I first started reading that, I was like, what is Query Manager? This is Query Tracker. This site is everything you need to know about how to submit to publishers and literary agents. This is the one-stop shop for everything. They make it super easy to submit. They give you tons of information about the individual agent and whether or not they, well, I'll go over it in a second, but they just give you lots and lots of information and everything you need to know. This is your one-stop shop. So if you're looking for where to go, Query Tracker is the best place to go. I don't know who did this site, but it's top-notch here. All right, so a few things to look over. So this is a particular literary agent, and this is the information. So here's some quick stats on her. So the submission process can take anywhere between a couple days to about 6 weeks, maybe even 2 months. And again, that's a long time to wait for an answer. If you look over here, this top box here, this basically gives you a huge amount of information. This shows the query's reply rate, shows how often they actually reply. Now, one thing to point out, and a lot of these agents say this in their bios, is they say, well, we only respond to the submissions that we're interested in. So most of the submissions that are submitted to these agents, they don't even respond to. So yeah, you could be waiting a couple days, you could be waiting 6 weeks, you could even be waiting 6 months, and guess what? You'll never hear a word. And you can only supply to one of them. Oh, well, after 2 months you can resubmit. That's just ridiculous. I mean, I get it, you have a lot of submissions to go through, but having people wait on your word for 2 months at a time, and then on top of it, you're not even going to respond back, I'm not a fan of that. You know, I don't know if you need to hire one person to submit replies back, and I'll get into the replies because the replies are just as ridiculous. For some of the ones that they do actually reply, their replies are pointless, and I'll get into that in a second. So that's the query rate, is how often they reply. Now there are some have a very little reply rate, and if that's the case, I wouldn't even bother. They're not even going to bother to write you to say, hey, thanks so much. They're not worth your time. I mean, could you imagine if they actually accepted you? You never hear from them. All right, so request rate. Now, request rate is how often they send an email back saying, hey, we're interested, we're super excited, we want to see the rest of the book. And so this particular agent only requests to see the rest of the book 2.1% of the time. I mean, God, are they all that bad? They can't all be that bad. All right, so let's find another one. So we're going to go to this dashboard. These are all of my query lists. See, lots and lots and lots and lots of them. Let's try this one. All right, so again, we have a 94.9 reply rate. That's pretty good. That means she pretty much replies back to everyone. That's awesome. Her average request time is 10 days. Her average rejection time is 7 days. That means she's probably going to send you a rejection within 7 days. But her request rate is 5.8%. I have never seen one that's really high. This is as high as it gets. That's really sad, but it is what it is. Next thing to point out is it gives the website that the literary agent, you can find the bios of the literary agent. The other thing to point out is other agents at this agency. This is a very good tool right here. This will show you what other agents at that specific agency are available. So if this particular agent rejects you, I could resubmit to these two agents to see what they thought. They say that they share, but I have no proof that they actually do that, so I wouldn't take their word for it. Now, some agencies will say, well, if it's a no from one, it's a no from all. Okay, Three Musketeers. There's the tool to find other agents at that specific agency that are available. If, for example, let's see if we can find one where they're closed. Okay, so she's at 46.8. Reply rate, again, really crap. Request rate, 3.2%. All right, but her average rejection time is 53 days. Like, wow. 2 months, I gotta wait. That's awesome. All right, so here are the other agents. So this little check mark here is all the agents that are closed. So don't even bother looking at them because they're closed for unsolicited queries. These other ones are available. So all you need to do is hit this website thing and find these other queries. All right, so I think I've pretty much gotten the gist of the query tracker. Now let's talk about submission. If you are interested in reading Roscoe's World for yourself, you can pick up the book on Amazon.com, or you can pick up your own copy at roscoesworld.store or roscoeworld.com.